Welcome, everyone, to the Class Cast, Episode 5, final chapter, probably. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Louie. What's up, Louie?
Hello.
What's up, Connor?
Hello.
So, I was talking with Connor. We've decided this is going to be the last Class Cast in existence. So, I'm sorry that you guys are so upset about it.
The last Class Cast.
Yeah. Like I said, sometimes I really create winners, and then sometimes I really create winners. And this show, we didn't know that class was going to be like, So, although I am hopeful that it could be fixed with another season, but not everybody else's. So I don't know.
In which case, there'll be the return of the Class Cast.
Correct.
You've just been showing what.
Reboot of the Class Cast. Probably won't be called that because it's complicated to say Class Cast without screwing it up. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Midnight of Class episodes where they ran out of money and basically had to stay in a classroom and yell and talk to each other to death. It does happen when you're trying to build up a finale or 2 episodes, like the Miss Quill episode and the finale, and you put all your eggs in a basket, and then you're like, oh, well, we don't have money for this episode. Okay, let's just put them in a classroom because it's called Class, and make it that they're separated from the whole entire universe from a pan-dimensional thing with the mysterious glowing rock. So that's what we got, a mysterious glowing rock that affected their emotions. Louie, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I thought it was actually quite nice just to get to the basics, these characters. It was alright. It wasn't as good as people made out to be, I don't think. It did lack Miss Quill, which was quite depressing, but it made up next episode for that mistake. But I thought again there was a lot of stuff in the story, lots of interactions between characters that just. It was cringy at times, like Mateus and Charlie again. Some of their dialogue.
Yeah, I just want to throw up every time.
Well, it's just so unrealistic, like the language used. Same with April and Ram, like the whole love thing, and Tanya as well actually pissed me off in this episode because she said, "Oh, you white people," but that
was ridiculous.
If it was the other foot and April had said, "Oh, you black person," to Tanya, it'd be up in arms. That's racism, but. Because it's
more
person,
awkward that a white guy is writing dialogue for a black girl saying you friggin' white people.
Yeah, so just, that shouldn't be tolerated, and it kind of pissed me off a bit. But the only good thing that I would say came out of this episode is we got to know the characters a bit more, and Miss Quill got rid of the arm. So, yeah.
Connor?
This is my 4th favourite episode because I want to put the first one for Tonight We Might Die high because it's got Peter Capaldi in. And he's the only redeeming factor about the entire series, probably apart from Miss Quill. And this one I liked it because it reminded me of Midnight, as you said, and a bit Heaven Sent because it was it was really sort of torturing to watch these characters pick up this stone and be forced to tell the truth. Confess exactly like Heaven Sent was. So it was like a mix of Midnight and Heaven Sent in a class episode. I liked it. As Louie said, Miss Quill being not in it was a bit weird, seeing as she is one of the only good bits about the entire show. But yeah, the white person thing, that sort of social commentary in that sort of show really irritates me. I don't know why he feels the need to have to write a black character like Tanya referring to white people all the time as white people. It's not very...
It's very racist, I think.
It's not very diversifying when you're calling a white person and not just acknowledging that...
Isn't she the most of the unity of all the people, trying to get everybody together, believing everybody's equal, and then she does a racist comment? It's weird.
Yeah. It's like
it ruins her character.
It's
like
like
totally.
Patrick Ness doesn't understand that racism works both ways.
Right.
He's a writer. He's not dumb.
And he's white.
And he's
So,
white.
like you researched about black people.
But that was just totally a dumbass thing to include.
I agree.
I don't know why he did it. But overall the episode was good. I do like Mateus as a character, actually. I think he's a good character, but just the things with Charlie and all the poetry speeches and all the stuff that a normal person wouldn't say in a normal conversation, it's just completely ridiculous. But yeah, it's a good episode, I thought, actually.
I'm going to have to have a different view. I basically rate the episode a 2. The only reason I rated a 2 is because Miss Quill was in it, which made it better than a 1 at the end. But for me, we have a series that's only 8 episodes, and you got to prove to the general public that this show is worth keeping, and you don't have room for error to screw up with bad episodes. For me, I understand that they spent all the money, but that shouldn't have happened with a brand new show. They should have had money to do something more intellectual than to be in a room. And this is no Midnight by any means to me, or Heaven Sent. This is like a poor man's Midnight, and done wrong. And I have to say that Mateus, like I said jokingly, they know each other for like a week or a couple of weeks, and Mateus, like, basically his father kicks him out and throws his whole family out the window for this guy that he only knows for a couple of weeks that's an alien. They don't even list him as part of the main cast. He's just like there, and they don't even recognize him. If you actually somehow find a way to trick Google to knowing what class is, and you find the Wikipedia thing, they don't even list him as a main character. Like, he's just
he's in supporting cast, isn't he?
Right. So that's insulting as it is, that you want to build up a gay couple, but then you don't you show the importance of the boyfriend as not important. Yet in the first episode, he's part of it, like he's part of the crew that they announced him that he's part of the crew, but the own creator doesn't consider him part of the crew. So that's
on the 3 class books that have come out, on the back they have a picture of the entire gang. He's in the gang. So he's not negated from that picture. So I'm not sure why they're not classing him as the main.
I don't know. But that's very disturbing, though. But you have to blame the person that's doing the show, that he doesn't emphasize enough that he should be the main cast, part of the main cast members. Again, Tanya, who was very likable throughout the whole season, was unlikable to me after that comment. It kind of really turned me off in a big way. The whole bullshit about April's love with Ram, again, this is a couple of weeks. So I don't understand, like, how they have this thing, like they've known each other for decades, they're going to get married and shit, and this whole thing about I love you, but I can't say. Like, I don't know why that's there. I mean, I think he's trying to cater to the audience, the young adults, but putting stuff in there like he knows what the young adults. I mean, I know he writes young adult stuff, and he's been very popular with his books, but doing a TV show based on it is a completely different thing. And I think that there's a lot more talk about I love you, kumbaya, and the show is not really supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about alien menaces and stuff like that. So I think he kind of focuses on things too much, and the real stuff not enough. Like, you don't focus on the whole shadow thing too much. You don't focus on Charlie too much, because Charlie's just a tortured, like, boring ass, supposed to be the leader but not character that has this whole thing that I have it, I can destroy everybody. Do I use it? I don't know, but maybe I will. I don't know, but then I'm like, I'm not going to use it. Yes, I am going to use it. So I just don't give a shit about that. And it's like this episode kind of would be, turn me off to the whole series in general. That's how bad I hated this episode. This is my most hated episode of the whole season. So, again, that changes, but it only gets a 2 because Miss Quill was there. Otherwise, it would get a 1. Very disappointing. loving monsters of class, I would say. But
you say your opinion will probably change or does change.
It does change about the other episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought that we go from the shittiest episode to the greatest episode of Class.
Yeah, everything about Class that I'm saying right now is probably going to be definite because I'm not going to rewatch it.
Right.
Ever. This is it. I don't see the point in rewatching it. It was so bad.
But when you see the Miss Quill episode, right?
Yeah.
For me, hating the last episode, this was the greatest shit ever. Now, it's not just because the episode before us, to me, was bad, but Miss Quill is interesting to me. All right?
Yeah.
Her backstory is interesting to me. She don't get enough screen time. So I'm, like, loving this episode. And then we get to learn more about the governors. And I'm like, this is... And then this bounty hunter thing. But there was something in there... Now, okay, so now we're doing Miss Quill's episode, everybody. We're reviewing Miss Quill's episode.
Metaphysical Engine or what Quill did.
Right. Right, which I do think that Patrick Ness comes out with the most fucked up, interesting titles.
I thought that was a really shit title, to be fair.
It's too long. You're not going to
It's just...
He's trying to use a young adult title, like trying to be hip.
But it's not a young adult title. It's a shit title.
What the fuck does metaphysical even mean? A young adult is not going to know what metaphysical means.
I guess he feels if you're a young adult, you're in college and you know what it means.
I'm actually going to search it because
please.
I know. In Metaphysical Engine, I googled it the other day. I'm pretty sure it's something. It's like a scientific theory that stuff happens. Oh, I don't know. It's just crap.
It's basically the theory that stuff that's fantasy could become a reality.
Metaphysical is a branch of metaphysics. Is a branch of philosophy investigating the fundamental nature of being and the world that encompasses it. Ultimately, metaphysics attempts to answer two basic questions. Ultimately, what is there and what is it like? You see, I'm none the wiser about anything. Topics of metaphysical investigation include existence, objects and their properties, space and time, cause and effect, and possibility. So David Tennant was talking about metaphysics when he was talking about cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what metaphysical means.
But there was no reason to put this in the fucking title, you're saying?
It's too long. It's too complicated. You're not going to remember it.
It should have just been called What Quill Did Next.
Right. Or just Quill.
Like, I need a cool word. Metaphysics. Thank you, Moffat.
Anyway, to be fair, though, this episode was all right.
Yeah, I loved it. I like the concept of the Arn. I like the name, Arn. It's quite good.
I like the arm, but then when we saw what it was, I was like, how the fuck do you fit that into your brain? It's like the size of a rabbit.
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to be the size of two thumbs. I kind of imagined it being like Mr. Sweet from Crimson Horror, that little worm thing that sucked from that old woman's tip.
If Moffat wrote it, I would say that he watched Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, where Khan put that creature in Chekhov's ear and the captain's ear, and then it grew in the brain to be like controlling them. But Moffat didn't write it. So I thought it was cool, that thing. It was cool that she had it in a bag, like parading around with it. I don't know what that little device is that the governor's got.
That's the Metaphysical Engine.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
It looks like,
That's kind of why the title's called that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Louie.
I thought that
maybe look like an idiot, but then
you don't need me.
I know. I'm like, hey, listen, it's good to be an idiot. The doctor says he's an idiot, and I'm an idiot too. I'm proud of it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor. Yeah. Right. Okay, God, I'm sorry.
I thought that it looked like a TARDIS, and that she was actually Missy, but it turned out
it's TARDIS for Gallifreyan midgets.
No, her TARDIS.
That little thing.
Dorothea's TARDIS.
Oh.
I thought it was that. It was like a really fucked up sort of new way to make
It's TARDIS. A Type 50 TARDIS instead of a Type 40 TARDIS.
Yeah, something like that. But it turns out that it was the Weeping Angels. I knew it wasn't Missy that was the main villain. So
right. Which we'll get into that. But, so I enjoyed this episode. I give it a 9 because I really liked it a lot. So
I give it an 8.5. I liked the forest thing with the pink trees and whatever. It was all very well done location wise, and the cave and all that sort of, and the quill nest as well, and the monster in that.
yeah, I like the jungle fever aspect of it. I mean, Quill getting it on with the bounty hunter was just like, okay, why not?
The thing I don't get though is in episode 1 you see what Miss Quill looks like with when she's like an actual quill. But then it looks completely different to the Quill Queen or whatever it was. I'm not sure if that's because she's a god, but that was a bit weird.
They ran out of money, I think.
No, I really liked the episode though. I thought it was good. Probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Not the best, but one of.
So, I have a. Maybe you could explain the birds and the bees to me of the Quills, Connor. Was she pregnant from that guy, or was she pregnant from one of the souls?
She was pregnant. I think she got pregnant with the guy, but because she touched the soul and her life went
She became 9 months pregnant because she's 9 months older?
She was apparently, when she touched the soul in the cabinet, her life went forward 9 months.
Right.
So by that time, she would have got the book. And she would have been almost ready to explode in whatever way women do when they give birth.
So, like, if you're in a cabinet of souls, the first thing you think about is when you see souls to touch a soul. I mean, wouldn't you, like, not want to do that because those suckers will kill everything? So, like, she's a warrior. Wouldn't she spawn enough to know, hey, let me not touch one of the souls?
Well, I don't. That made no sense. Why she took the soul, actually.
Right. That's why it doesn't get a 10 from me. But okay.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. But you could tell that her life had gone forward 9 months.
Yeah, I saw the long hair. Yeah,
because her hair grew. So yeah, it was.
I think
we lost him. Louie?
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Sorry, my phone rang. The only reason she touched that soul was purely so she could age 9 months.
She wanted. She didn't even know she was pregnant.
Oh no, not her. I'm saying like the only reason it was written
yes,
in the story was so she could. There's no logical explanation. It's just to get her from, basically, so she could be pregnant for the cliffhanger.
Okay, so now I have another question I'll give it to Louie. Did she become super nice with the kids because of that thing that the guy threw in her eyeball that was like a heart? So did that mean that
I don't think
so. Or was it that she's pregnant?
I think she's just being nice because she's got to know them and she doesn't really want them to die.
Well, she was only really nice with Tanya, but that's because Tanya was a cold ass bitch after she lost.
So you don't think it was anyway because she's a mother now and they're going to be pregnant?
No, I think she cares about them.
Yeah,
I don't think she's like cold heart evil.
Yeah, like, but
she's just a tough ass, a badass.
I think she grew nicer with Tanya because Tanya was tough with her. Because when Tanya's mum died, she immediately went to the house of Charlie and Miss Quill, and she went to Miss Quill, and then Miss Quill probably felt the need to be responsible for her, and then obviously when they were learning to fight, and Quill was talking about how the baby makes her more ferocious, and then Tanya's retort to that was that it makes her more ferocious as well.
Right.
It was more like them bonding as friends because they feel the same about the whole entire situation.
So now, if the show continued, they'd probably stay together.
They'd probably be more friends than Quill would be with the others, even though I imagine Quill would be as nice with the others as she is.
They alter their bodies to be human. So in other words, a Quill person may not deliver a baby 9 months, but a human would. So is that why the baby's coming out 9 months? She's got a human body now, or
I don't think it's coming. They never actually said the baby was coming in 9 months. They just said
she aged
9 months. Yeah,
well,
so
you're just basically going by human anatomy, aren't you?
Because she said it went into the second womb, so it might be another 9 months. So we don't know.
Right. All right. So, Louie, what did you rate that?
Read what?
What did you rate the Quill?
Oh, like 8.5 or something.
Okay. All right. So now we get to the finale, The Lost.
You're going to sing the song?
Or in another way, The Lost or How No One Dies.
The Lost, where I'm kind of lost how the Weeping Angels are in it, but okay.
That was dumb.
Well, maybe it was smart because that may have given them
that's going to kill the Angels off forever. Just like
maybe that gave them an opening to do a second season because people now just that one event.
Yeah, but I really think about it. Russell T. Davis once said
Connor gave it a 7 out of 10. He had to go.
Yeah. So. Russell T. Davis once said that a Dalek or a Cyberman would never appear in Sarah Jane or Torchwood properly because it would undermine them when they appear in Doctor Who. And they've just given Doctor Who, one of Doctor Who's newest, popular, great, even though I don't really like the Angels, but it's a popular opinion that they're one of the greatest villains of the modern era. They've given it to a spin-off show where they're going to get, because inevitably they're going to be defeated by a group of teenage kids. That kind of undermines them as a threat, in my opinion. But I don't know about you.
I think that they did that to secure...
I'll be back in one sec.
Okay. I think that they did that to secure a second season because they created a buzz, a thing on the internet that's trending where people are like, the Weeping Angels are in class, the Weeping Angels are in class. Oh my God, what would they do if there was a second season with the Weeping Angels in class? So I think whatever your opinion is of the whole entire season, I think the moment that they put the Weeping Angels in the last episode, they basically have the thing that could sway the network to make a second season based on Weeping Angels appearing, and kind of connect it more intricately with Doctor Who. Although I don't think that's a wise thing to do because it should stand out on its own. To have a class where the Doctor keeps popping up because the Weeping Angels are in there. But again, I don't want to see the kids defeat the Weeping Angels. I want to see that they are overconfident. They go to fight them. They get their asses handed to them. And the Doctor has to get them out of there and say, look, you're not ready for this. I helped you out, but that's it. You cannot undermine, like you said, the greatest new villains of the modern era. So I don't think that they should be there with the kids to defeat them. I think they should be there as a bargaining chip for a second season in case the ratings were falling, and I think that's what I
think that will be their biggest mistake, though. Even if that was a clever plan to get them a second series, it's going to undermine them forever.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're going to get a second season because of that event. But then again, I've been wrong.
It's a shame. I think it's a real shame that it's Moffat's last year, next year for Series 10, and it'd be the 10th anniversary of the Weeping Angels. And I really wanted him to do a story like his last Angel story, but now that's not going to happen because they're now like a class monster. I don't see.
No, they're going to be in the finale of Series 10.
I don't think they will.
Really?
Because of this, it's like...
You mean you don't think they're going to appear like Missy appeared throughout the whole season a little bit?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Not in Doctor Who. In class they will, but if they do it in... If they appear in Doctor Who now, for Series 10, it will completely undermine the whole arrival thing of class.
Right.
Their business is with class now, not with Doctor Who, at least until this is resolved.
Which, if there's not a season, it won't be resolved.
Yeah, in which case, it will probably be resolved in Doctor Who, but it'll be too late to do it for Series 10, so it'll have to be Series 11.
Yeah. All right, so overall, this is our last cast on class. And I do want to say that I do like the characters enough to pledge for a second season. And I even had sent a message to Patrick Ness that I really hope that there is a second season, only because I think that the potential is there for something better. And I think that he could shape the characters to be better. And I think that this is something that could last a couple of years if done right, and with the lack of shows, I guess, lately that they're losing, right, Louie? I mean,
yeah,
losing all these things. I would say to give it a chance because, I mean, yes, we've had some bad apples with class, but overall, I think it's worth it to try to, and I do say fix it because a mess was made with the show regardless, that you need to clear up a lot of different things, and you need to really define what their purpose is, who's the leader, because you have to have a leader. You can't be like Charlie's the leader, then he's weak, and then April's the leader because she's a Shadow King. And that whole thing where April's inside a Shadow King's body is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that completely undermined the whole.
I mean, if we get rid of the corn, then we're okay. I mean, that's kind of corny, I have to say.
It's just cheesy. It was just
cheese and corn. Basically, that's what it is. So, I'm gonna say try harder second season, but if it does get canceled, I don't think anybody would really mind it, right?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think there will be a second series. I think that it's kind of been confirmed, but because like Patrick Ness put a comment out on Twitter saying, "I'll bring you news when I'm allowed to." So I think they've got a second series, but I don't think it's gonna. I think they're gonna have to work really hard to secure a third.
And if there's a second season, I don't want them to put like missing in it or something to save it in the second season finale, because then I just feel it's like you're putting the worm on the hook, and that's like your secret weapon, like the cabinet, and you only use it when you know it's going to get canceled. And then Missy shows up, and it's like, oh, we can't cancel Class now because Missy showed up in the second season finale.
It's just out of all the villains they could have brought back, why the Weeping Angels? It was very just.
I'll tell you why.
It didn't fit at all.
You want to know why?
It was just so people go, oh, Class has angels in it now, you should watch it for that. And people, oh, yeah.
No. You want to know why? We wanted to know what Moffat's purpose was, right? Was he going to have any influence whatsoever over Class? Was he going to have Patrick Ness put anything in Class that's Moffat, right? And now we got our answer. Like, Moffat's like, let him use the Weeping Angels. That's Moffat's creation. So while Moffat paid for it or got the money for it, it's because of Moffat that we were allowed to have the Weeping Angels in the finale. So that's Moffat's.
Remember a while ago he did an interview and he said that he had been approached by a writer and had a really great story for a Weeping Angels story, and he was like, we were going to do it, but they had to opt out because they were busy. And he said we all thought it was Neil Gaiman. I think that might have been Patrick.
I still think it was Neil Gaiman.
I think it might have been Patrick Ness.
Really? I still think it was Neil Gaiman, because Neil Gaiman was going to, and then he couldn't because of commitments with. In case you didn't know, Neil Gaiman stuff is being made into movies and TV shows. So
no, I know, but I'm just saying. I think it would make sense for him. It wouldn't really make sense if Neil Gaiman had this great story idea that he really wants to do, not to save it, even if it's for when Chris Chibnall takes over, he can pass on the story.
I think it was Neil Gaiman because it was like, look, dude, I had a top 10 rated episode with the doctor's wife, and then you messed up my script for Nightmare in Silver. And the Moffat's like, I owe you. Okay, you have the Weeping Angels, go. And then all of a sudden, it got to a point where he already is popular in the States, Neil Gaiman, and he's popular overseas, but people threw money to do movies on his books like they're doing Patrick Ness, and he's like, my time is, I can't. And that's, I really believe in my heart that's what happened. Because, that script was messed up. So you want to keep good relations. Yeah, you want to do Weeping Angels, go. And I think that's really what it is. But also I think part of the problem wasn't even Moffat. It was the fact that I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Louie, Neil Gaiman had the script in the taxi, and he left it in the taxi. Am I right?
For Nightmare in Silver, yeah.
So we're all saying it's Moffat, but maybe he had no choice to have Moffat help him because he screwed up. I mean, it's a mistake, but it's a mistake on Gaiman's part. So
I'm not sure if it was him who it was like. I think it was like a director or something or a producer. They left it.
I thought it was Neil Gaiman. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was.
Maybe Connor can help me research it later or tomorrow. All right, so we're getting the clock countdown. This is going to be the last Class cast, unless classes work back, and then we'll make episode 6 return with the Class cast. I hope everybody could be with me tomorrow for the anniversary of my first video. I mean, the channel was around since 2007, but it was only utilized for video since December 11th of 2011. So it's going to be fun if we could do some nice things tomorrow throughout the day for the anniversary, and everybody's welcome to appear. Thank you very much, Louie.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye for now.